Hey guys, welcome to another video, and today I'm going to bring you my top 15 most anticipated reads of 2015. There's a little bit of a twist to this. I'm going to talk about books that I already own, that are on my shelves, that I am excited to read this year. You all know I'm excited for Cassandra Clare's new release. I'm excited for Sarah J. Maas's release. I'm excited for Cassandra Clare and Holly Black's release. Rick Riordan, Ernest Cline, all of the ones that are coming out this year by authors that I've read before, you know I'm excited for those. But I want to show you books that I may have hauled before, that I never got around to reading, that I'm really excited to read this year. Some of these books are underhyped. Some of these are books that you're like, seriously, Christina, you haven't read that yet? Or seriously, what is your deal? You know? So I'm just going to give you some books that I own. So one, I can physically show you what the book looks like. And two, it's a way of knocking off some things that are on my shelf that I still need to read. So let's go ahead and get started. Top 15 most anticipated reads, parentheses, that I already own. Now these books are in no particular order. It's a very diverse list, from new adult to young adult, all kinds of things. So the first book I have here is the sequel to the first book, called Find Me, and this is Remember Me by Romilly Bernard. I have had this book for quite some time now. I loved the first book, Find Me. I thought it was really great. So I am really excited to read this one. I've been wanting to read it since I bought it like mid last year. So it's here. I'm going to read it this year. Yes, this is going to get done. Super stoked. The next book on my list is by Elizabeth Wein, and it is called Codename Verity. I've heard too many things about this book. It is a shame that I have not read it yet. I'm going to rectify that this year. If you've seen my 2015 reading goals video, then you know that this is definitely what I would consider a diverse read. I cannot wait. This next book, my friend Jen, hi Jen, has been telling me she wants me to read this for the longest time because she thinks I really love it. And it is by Leah Rader, and it's called Unteachable. It came out early last year, the ebook did, and then the physical copy came out later in the year, and I got my hands on it, but I never had time to read it. That's gonna change now. Here it is. See it, Jen? I'm gonna read it, and as soon as I read it, I'm gonna reach out to you, and we're gonna talk about this. The next book I want to read is by Mindy McGinnis, and it's called Not a Drop to Drink. I got this from the book outlet a while ago, and I have been wanting to read it ever since. I've heard mixed reviews about it, but I've heard more positive than negative. But I really do want to read this because this is actually one of those books that I would consider to be a diverse read for me. It's not really in the realm of what I typically read, and I'm just really excited to see how I will receive this. I'm hoping that I receive it as positively as a lot of the people that I know did. So then I wanted to save this book for the year that the final book of the trilogy came out, and it is Stone Cold Touch by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I really wanted to read this in the year that the final book came out, and it's coming out this year. So I'm probably going to read this one closer to when the final book comes out so I can read this and go right into the next one. But I'm really excited. This is a big book. This looks like your cheesy romance novel. I swear, JLA and these book covers, I don't know what to do. But yes, I'm really excited to read this one. I loved the first one, White Hot Kiss. I loved that book. It was one of the best books I read last year. Didn't quite make it to my list, but it was one of the best books. Not last year, year before, whatever. Maybe it came out, did it come out in 2013? Whenever White Hot Kiss came out, it was a really great book. So, gonna read the next one. All right, let's move on to the next 5. Next one is The Infinite Sea by Rick Yancey. Couldn't remember the name. I almost said Rick Riordan. This, of course, is the second book to The Fifth Wave. I've been talking about The Fifth Wave like nobody's business. Everybody knows how much I love that book. I cannot wait to read this one. It's way shorter, which is a little disconcerting, but whatevs. I'm sure I'm going to love it. Some people didn't, and that's okay, but I am excited about this book. Cannot wait to finally read it. The next book, I know a few people will be very happy that I'm finally getting to. I've owned it since the day it came out, and that book is I'll Give You the Sun by Jandy Nelson. I have read The Skies Everywhere. I blanked. I read The Skies Everywhere and I really, really enjoyed it. I gave it, I think, a 4 out of 5 stars. So I'm really, really excited for this one. People say they can't really explain what it's about, which is fine. I don't really care to know. But they just loved it. They say that her way with words is just gorgeous. And I just can't wait. I really love this cover. I think it's really, really simple, but really, really vibrant and just a really interesting looking cover. And I cannot wait to read this. It's probably a book that I'm going to read in the early part of this year. So the next book is the final book in a trilogy that I've been holding off on this book because I don't want it to end, but it's time. It's time. Unmade by Sarah Reese Brennan. This is the final book in the Lindburn Legacy trilogy. And I think I'm ready now. I think I am. I love this series. It's one of my favorites. It has my all-time female protagonist in it, Cammie Glass. Love this girl. And I just really love this story. And Sarah Reese Brennan kind of scared me because she told me some things about the book when I met her last year. And I'm nervous to read it, but I'm going to read it and I'm sure I'm going to love it. But Unmade. It's happening. Then looks like this lady made the list twice, and we have Be With Me by Jennifer L. Armentrout or J. Lynn. This is the second book in the Wait For You series or whatever it's called. And I actually have the third one. I think it's Stay With Me or whatever it's called. But I need to read this one first, and I was told that I'm going to love this. So here's hoping that I do. But I really, really loved Wait For You. And so I'm assuming that I will love this one as well. So I am going to get it off of my TBR because I really want to read it. I love JLA's writing. Like, it's not the best writing at all, but it's very entertaining and very emotion driven. I love it. Then we're going to switch over to some fantasy and we're going to read Aeon by Allison Goodman. This book is humongous, but I'm really excited to read it. I like fantasy. You guys know this. I am a huge fan of fantasy. Blah, 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 blah. High fantasy, not so much, but you know, I'm learning. I want to read more diversely, as I've said before, and this cover is gorgeous. I really, really love it, but it's kind of washing me out. But anyway, I'm really excited to read this one. On to the final 5. We have a book by Isaac Marion called Warm Bodies. I have never read this book before. I want to read it. I've heard such good things about it. It's gonna happen. Here it is. Yes, and it's really short, which I like, so it won't take that long. Then we're going to read a book by my friend Heather Lyons, which is The Collector's Society. I was supposed to read this a long time ago, but I just never had time. It's a decent length. I am super excited. This book cover is probably my all-time favorite book cover of all book covers. I want this particular cover blown up and hung on my wall. That's how in love with this cover I am. I think it's simply beautiful. The lighting is not doing it justice because the sun is going down as I'm filming this, but I'm trying to hurry up and get done. But it's a gorgeous cover. Gorgeous, gorgeous cover, and I'm really excited about this series. Next we have a book by Tamara Pierce, and it's called Alana, and this is the first book in the Song of the Lioness quartet. I have the whole quartet, as you guys probably know if you've seen my haul, and I need to read a Tamara Pierce book. This will be my first Tamara Pierce book. I'm really excited about it. I've heard great things. It's rather short. And yeah, I just want to read a really good girl power, girl kicks butt book. And this is the one that I'm excited to read. I can't wait. The next book I'm excited to read, you guys are going to laugh. And yes, I've read like maybe 30% of it, and it is the Bane Chronicles by Cassandra Clare, Sarah Reese Brennan, and Maureen Johnson. This cover is so pretty. Look at that. Look at that. It has Magnus on the cover. I haven't gotten around to finishing this yet. I read the short stories as they came out when Cassandra was releasing them, but I stopped because I wanted to read the whole book. So I'm going to have to start from the beginning because I don't remember much of it. All of my friends who are Shadowhunter aficionados, i.e. myself, like me, loved it. And I feel ashamed to be a part of the Shadowhunter community and not have read this book. That is going to change in 2015. This is going to get read. And then my final most anticipated read of this year that I own, and I'm a little ashamed to say that I've owned this for as long as I have, and I have not read a single page of it. Air of Fire by Sarah J. Maas. I cannot believe I have not read this book yet, but life got away from me. This was right around the time that things started to happen in 2014, so I couldn't really read this, but I'm at a place where I am ready to read this now. Look how big it is. Oh, this is probably one of my second favorite set of book covers. Like, I think these covers are absolutely phenomenal. I need to actually get the new hardcover of the first book with this style of cover because they have those now. But yeah, so I'm really excited to read Heir of Fire because the fourth book actually comes out this year and I need to be ready for that. So yes, Heir of Fire is my 15th most anticipated book of 2015. So those are my choices for this year. The sun is going down, so let's end this video because I'm starting to blend in with my background. Anyway, what are your most anticipated reads? You can just give me one, you can give me all 15, totally up to you. But if you enjoyed this video, I ask that you give it a thumbs up and that you subscribe, I can't speak today, that you subscribe to this channel so you can see more of my videos. I thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in my next video. Have a great day. Bye.